Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Are you ready for some spine-chilling, heart-racing horror? Shudder is home to some of the scariest, most intense horror films, and in 2025, it continues to deliver terrifying nightmares. From psychological thrillers to blood-soaked slashers, we've handpicked the top 7 best horror movies on Shudder that you simply can't miss. Whether you're a fan of supernatural horrors, psychological terror, or mind-bending thrillers, this list has something for everyone. So turn off the lights, grab some popcorn, and let's dive into the ultimate horror experience. Number 7. The Vourdalak. The Vourdalak is a mesmerizing and chilling folk horror film that reinvents vampire lore through a deeply psychological and atmospheric approach. Directed by Adrian Bo, the movie is a haunting adaptation of Alexei Tolstoy's 19th-century novella, bringing a gothic nightmare to life with striking visuals and eerie puppetry. The film follows the Marquis d'Urfé, Casey Modic Klein, a nobleman traveling through the countryside who finds refuge in a remote household after being wounded. However, his stay quickly turns into a waking nightmare as he realizes the family is anxiously awaiting the return of their patriarch, Gorcha. Before leaving for battle against the Turks, Gorcha warned his family that if he did not return within 6 days, he should be considered a Vourdalak, a vampire that preys upon its own loved ones. The performances are another highlight. Casey Modic Klein perfectly captures the Marquise's descent into horror, while Ariane Lebed's portrayal of Stenka balances eerie beauty with deep sadness. The rest of the cast contributes to the film's oppressive atmosphere, particularly Grégoire Collin as Jegor, the eldest son who wrestles with his father's sinister influence. With its old-school aesthetic, unsettling atmosphere, and thought-provoking themes, The Vourdalak is a horror film that lingers in the mind long after the credits roll. It avoids CGI spectacle in favor of practical effects, making its horror feel eerily tangible. By blending folklore with psychological horror, Adrian Bo delivers a unique cinematic experience that horror enthusiasts will find deeply rewarding. For those who love classic horror with a modern edge, The Vourdalak is a must-watch. A film that proves true terror lies not in the fangs of a monster, but in the inescapable grip of fear and family. Number 6. Tiger Stripes. Amanda Nell's Tiger Stripes is an electrifying and thought-provoking coming-of-age horror film that masterfully blends body horror, folklore, and social commentary. The film presents a bold feminist perspective, using supernatural elements to explore the fears, anxieties, and power struggles that accompany adolescence. It has been widely praised for its originality, cultural depth, and strong central performance. Set in rural Malaysia, Tiger Stripes follows 12-year-old Zafin, played by Zafreen Zairizal, a rebellious and free-spirited girl who begins experiencing strange bodily changes. While her transformation carries physical and supernatural elements, it is deeply intertwined with her psychological and emotional journey. The film takes inspiration from traditional monster myths, crafting a unique horror narrative that speaks to the pressures young girls face when society forces them to conform. The film's horror elements are not reliant on excessive gore or CGI, but rather on psychological tension and body horror that reflect the protagonist's inner turmoil. One of the most striking aspects of Tiger Stripes is how it portrays the fear of bodily change. Zafin's efforts to suppress or hide her transformation mirror the real-world shame and stigma that often accompany puberty for young girls. With its blend of folklore, body horror, and feminist themes, Tiger Stripes is a refreshingly bold addition to the horror genre. It challenges conventional narratives about adolescence, offering a unique perspective that is both deeply personal and universally relatable. The film has received critical acclaim for its originality, storytelling, and strong performances, making it a must-watch for those who appreciate horror with depth and cultural significance. If you enjoy intelligent horror films that use supernatural elements as metaphors for real-world struggles, Tiger Stripes is an essential viewing experience. It's not just a horror film, it's a statement on identity, transformation, and the power of embracing one's true self. Number 5. In a Violent Nature. In a Violent Nature is a bold and unconventional slasher film that challenges the traditional horror format by immersing the audience in the perspective of its killer. Directed by Chris Nash, the movie follows Johnny, a silent and unstoppable force of nature who rises from the dead to reclaim a stolen locket, leaving a trail of brutal violence in his wake. Unlike typical slashers that build suspense through jump scares and music cues, this film takes a minimalist approach, relying on long, wide-angle shots and an eerie sense of detachment to heighten the horror. The film's originality lies in its ambient slasher style, where viewers are not just watching the victims, but are instead shadowing Johnny himself. This unique perspective makes for an unsettling experience, forcing audiences to sit with the brutality rather than simply reacting to it. The cinematography, particularly its 4:3 aspect ratio, enhances the film's retro yet contemporary feel, with beautifully framed shots that contrast the natural beauty of the Canadian wilderness with the raw, unfiltered violence on display. Despite its experimental approach, In a Violent Nature doesn't hold back on gore. The kills are visceral, inventive, and at times darkly humorous, making it a must-watch for hardcore horror fans. However, it also deconstructs the genre by refusing to give viewers characters to connect with, making the experience feel detached and cold, much like the horror it depicts. Overall, In a Violent Nature is a mesmerizing and brutal horror experience, redefining the slasher genre with its meditative pacing and stark violence. It's a film that lingers in the mind long after the credits roll, proving that even well-worn horror tropes can be reinvented with the right vision. Number 4. Sweetheart. Sweetheart is a gripping survival horror film that expertly blends isolation, tension, and a terrifying creature into a thrilling experience. Directed by J.D. Dillard, the movie follows Jen, played by Kiersey Clemons, who finds herself stranded on a deserted island after a shipwreck. However, survival becomes even more challenging when she realizes she is not alone. Something monstrous lurks in the shadows. One of the film's greatest strengths is its minimal dialogue, allowing Clemons to showcase an intense performance through physical acting and emotional depth. Her resilience and adaptability make her an engaging protagonist, and the film's emphasis on survival realism adds to the tension. The movie gradually builds suspense, revealing the creature in brief, eerie glimpses before fully unleashing it in a spectacular, well-executed manner. The monster design is another highlight, favoring practical effects over CGI, giving it a tangible and menacing presence. With stunning cinematography, a hauntingly atmospheric soundtrack, and an impressive lead performance, Sweetheart is a must-watch for fans of intelligent, slow-burning creature features. If you're looking for an intense, visually striking survival horror experience, this film is a hidden gem worth discovering. Number 3. Grafted. Grafted is a gruesome and thought-provoking body horror film that delivers both shocking visuals and compelling social commentary. Directed by Sacha Rainbow, the film follows Wei, a young Chinese woman studying in New Zealand, who becomes obsessed with perfecting a radical skin grafting procedure inspired by her late father's research. As her experiments take a dark and violent turn, Grafted evolves into a chilling tale of transformation, ambition, and desperation. The film has been widely praised for its unflinching body horror elements, with critics noting that the practical effects and grotesque imagery are as mesmerizing as they are disturbing. The prosthetic and makeup work by Sean Bridle and Tracy Henton, along with cinematography by Tammy Williams, create a visually stunning and immersive experience. Beyond its horror elements, Grafted is also a powerful exploration of identity, xenophobia, and the pressures of Eurocentric beauty standards. The film poignantly portrays Wai's struggle for acceptance and self-worth, particularly in contrast to her cousin Angela, who rejects her cultural heritage in an attempt to assimilate. Overall, Grafted is a bold and unforgettable entry into the body horror genre, offering not just shocking gore, but also a meaningful exploration of identity and societal pressures. It's a must-watch for fans of psychological horror and intense practical effects. Number 2. Hush. Hush is an intense home invasion thriller directed by Mike Flanagan and co-written by its lead actress, Kate Siegel. The film follows Maddie, a deaf and mute author living in isolation, who must use her intelligence and resilience to survive when a masked killer targets her. Critics have praised Hush for its clever use of sound design, tension-building atmosphere, and strong character-driven storytelling. Unlike traditional horror films that rely on jump scares, Hush excels in psychological suspense, creating fear through silence and Maddie's limited means of communication. Kate Siegel delivers a compelling performance portraying Maddie with depth and resourcefulness. Meanwhile, John Gallagher Jr. plays the menacing antagonist with chilling unpredictability, making his presence all the more terrifying. The film's direction stands out for its minimalist approach, focusing on Maddie's isolation and her strategic battle for survival. Flanagan's trademark slow-burn tension ensures that every scene feels deliberate, building up to a gripping climax. Overall, Hush is a masterclass in suspense, offering a fresh take on the home invasion subgenre. If you're looking for a smart, tense horror film that relies on psychological terror rather than gore, this is a must-watch. Number 1. Infested. Sebastian Ivanicek's Infested is a chilling, adrenaline-fueled horror film that takes the classic creature feature to horrifying new heights. Blending relentless suspense with social commentary, this French thriller is not just about surviving a spider outbreak. It's about the claustrophobic nightmare of being trapped in an environment that offers no escape, either from the creatures or from societal neglect. The story follows Caleb Théo-Christine, a young man who has a deep passion for exotic creatures. When he purchases a rare and mysterious spider, he unknowingly sets off a terrifying chain reaction. His small apartment, which is already packed with vivariums, quickly becomes ground zero for a full-blown arachnid invasion. Before long, his entire building is overrun, and what was once a tight-knit, struggling community transforms into a terrifying battleground for survival. What makes Infested so effective is its masterful use of tension. The film doesn't rely solely on jump scares. Instead, it builds an oppressive atmosphere that seeps into every frame. The cinematography by Alexander Jamin expertly captures the cramped and decaying setting, making the viewer feel just as trapped as the characters. The dimly lit hallways, flickering lights, and eerily quiet moments before the next swarm attack all contribute to the suffocating dread. In terms of horror, Infested is pure nightmare fuel. It features some of the most unsettling and visceral spider sequences in recent cinema, using a combination of practical effects and CGI to create creatures that feel disturbingly real. The sight of thousands of spiders creeping through walls, pouring out of ventilation ducts, and even crawling up bodies ensures that this film will haunt viewers long after the credits roll. Overall, Infested is a thrilling, nerve-wracking experience that proves Vanicek is a director to watch. It's a film that not only delivers on terrifying creature horror, but also offers sharp social commentary, making it one of the most compelling horror movies of the year. If you're a fan of intense, edge-of-your-seat horror that leaves you squirming, Infested is a must-watch. Well, this is it. Share your impressions in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to never miss a good movie again.